Hey everybody. I'm just gonna start off correctly this time. Be like, I'm Daphny Emily.
And I'm Eeress.
And we are Soulful She.
We are two bodacious, beautiful ladies from Brockton, unraveling our truth on identity, on empowerment, on mental health, and fashion.
Through conversations from the soul.
I definitely forgot that part.
Did you? I thought I was just supposed to do it because I did it last time. And I was like, damn, I'm messing up. I'm messing up today. But welcome, everybody. Welcome to episode 21.
Wow, this is episode 21?
Yes.
So you guys, soul friends, have been with us for 2 seasons, 20 episodes. This is pretty crazy.
It is. Our friend told me today that they sat and watched the marathon.
They binge watched.
I've been around Cape this weekend, so it's a marathon of all our episodes.
What?
And I was like, we have episodes that you can watch in marathon. Like,
that's pretty dope.
Wow, humbling.
I will say, my boss just told me that she started watching Soulful She, and I was just like, let's see how this goes.
Do you be talking about work? I know I do.
I don't talk. I do talk about work, but I haven't spoken about my current position now.
Yeah.
But it's just more like Soulful She, soul friends. You see a version of me that work does not see. So I definitely will let loose a little more, give a little more vulgarity, or just other facets of me that work will not receive.
Which I think is unfortunate, but I understand why. Homeboy ruined it. Homeboy from that place ruined it for everybody.
Wait, what do you mean?
The one I said, the one you talked about before, when we talked about the work episode.
Oh, but that wasn't, that's not the position that we were, like, that isn't pertaining to the current position that I have. So.
Well, I think it's pertaining to you not being.
Oh, yes.
At work.
Yes.
You ruined it for everyone. I know people.
I know people that will hit him up.
We know where he works.
Seriously.
All right, I'll stop before something happens and they come looking for me.
They're like, Daphne, who is it?
He's not worth our time or energy. We are flourishing in life. We are elevating in life. We are moving on up in many aspects in our lives. So that's what we are focused on right now and for always.
I love the sound of that, which is a beautiful segue into what we will be talking about. But before that, let's keep it real quick.
Real quick, I was annoyed all day today, and I was like, I'm gonna come into this place with a whole attitude, and I'm gonna give people a horrible episode because I don't like nobody. I was at work, you would just send me off, and everything that would come up, it was just one of those things that it's like, I really am not happy right now with you guys, and then you're just doing more to make me unhappy, and I just don't know how much more you have to do to get me where I need to be to really let y'all know. So today was like, today's not the day because I have things working in fruition. I believe in karma and I don't need karma acting up. So I'm gonna be patient, but I'm gonna still let my boss know I am frustrated. So that's what I did. I let my boss know I'm frustrated.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Well, I have my annual review tomorrow, so we'll find out.
Wait, so you told your boss you're frustrated the day before an annual revision? Wow.
He said we'll talk about it during the meeting. I said sure. I didn't actually answer. I just knew what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I think one thing about this job is that they're good to me for the most part, and I think in terms of that, it's more talking about through COVID things really just got complicated and harder for me, and it hasn't let up. And I know it's piling up in terms of work for me and everyone else within that job.
Yeah.
So it's like me being patient knowing everyone else is bogged down, then me also thinking just because everyone's bogged down, doesn't mean I have to always be like, it's okay, everyone's busy, everyone's bogged down. No, I'm frustrated at this point, and
it shouldn't be that way.
And even if it's, I need to vent for 2 seconds and I'll be okay, then I think that's what I need to do. But that was me today. I'm better now. This morning I was really like, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I don't know. I was like, I'm getting the pedicure. Maybe I'll feel better after that. I don't know. So now I'm feeling better. Yeah, I feel good. I honestly, other than work, I have no complaints. I guess that's what happens when you're surrounded by good people. So.
I will say I definitely do enjoy our preparation for our recording because we have a lot of fun.
We do, and I feel like that's a side of us I would love for the soul friends to see one day. But I need you to fall in love with me first before we get there.
Before unraveling that layer of the onion.
So then when y'all judge me, y'all be like, but she cool though, you know?
We still love her.
We still love her. Yeah.
But yes, I think that continuing, this is only season 2, and we've already peeled many layers within ourselves. And so the more that our soul friends continue to go on this journey with us, they'll get to know us a little more, and they'll see the progression.
Right. A few people have told me that we've gotten better.
Really?
And I was like, wow, thank you.
Hey.
Because I remember the first time we did this, we sat there and I was just like, I don't know what to say. I don't know.
And we were in our beds.
Yeah. And then when for the first time we were on set, I was just like, when do we start? How do we start?
Yeah. We've definitely enjoyed this journey. And so keeping it real quick for myself, today was a good day. I ended up doing a reading for a friend of mine, and I've been doing a lot more readings lately, and they've been affirming in ways that I didn't realize I needed, because a lot of the times, I remember I did a reading yesterday and I was just talking. I think at one point I don't even remember what I finished. Once I finished, I was like, what did I say? I was just like, what came out of my mouth? And then all I heard was the person, my cousin, she was just like, girl, this is spot on, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I hope so, because I can't replay you what I said. But I think that keeping it real quick, I'm cool. I'm not too crazy, because I think that right now I'm in a space where I'm really trying to collect all my thoughts and be very intentional and be very careful and be very wise about the way I move moving forward. And so I think because of that, I think I'm hermiting, but in a good way. There's a tarot card called the Hermit, where is this black coated figure, and he's closing something, a computer, and it's just looking within.
It's the little caterpillar going into their cocoon right now, because that butterfly
is gonna come out.
Bet. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
I am getting the very chill vibes from you today, that I've kind of been looking at you side-eyed, are you good? Are you okay? Are you just chill? I feel like you're chill, but are you chill, or are you contemplating something chill? But
I think with that message, I think I'm contemplating chill, because I wanna move intentionally, and moving intentionally requires reflection and stepping back.
Beautiful. And I feel like all of that works us into our conversation from the soul today. I came in here today Eeress, what we doing? So you can go ahead and jump into that.
Definitely. So I think that if you guys pay attention to a little bit of astrology and what's going on in the planets, there is a term called retrograde. And I keep hitting my microphone with the jewelry, so I'm sorry guys if you hear lots of noise, but like I mentioned before, there's this word called retrograde, and usually when you hear Mercury retrograde, you hear craziness, everything, destruction, being careful about not making decisions. It's a whole thing, and it lasts certain amount of time. And so during this time, there's been multiple retrogrades that have been going on. So there's a lot of, just the same way that when the sun or the moon or something in the sky it's in a certain location, the tides are stronger and blah, blah, blah. Like, the effect of the outside world will affect our inside. And so that's the same way, where it's just like the retrogrades, the planets being in certain areas are affecting nature in such a way, and in nature we ourselves are here, so it's affecting us in a certain way. And so I think that the waves that have been going in our environment, specifically with Daphne and myself, is the wave of change. And so I think that change has been a huge theme going on in both of our worlds and in the people around me. And so I wanted to talk about, like, for you, what does change look like for you at this moment?
First, before I get into that, now I have a rebuttal for the non-astrology believers.
Okay.
In terms of retrograde and people's personalities, and giving the example of the tides. When the tides are higher, lower, whatever in the ocean, if that's existing because of this universe, then how come we as people are not affected by it? So I got a rebuttal. Nice. In terms of change,
is it a rebuttal though?
for the non-believers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, for the non-believers, okay.
Because I feel like people would more likely believe the tides are affected by versus people, and I was like, well, if the tides can be affected, why not people?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Because when it's a full moon, it'd be like people don't know how to act.
But you were saying,
in terms of change, I've learned a lot about myself in recent weeks. I've learned that I am someone that will want to do something, and I'm not let's plan this little by little and get there.
Yeah.
The opportunity has come up, I'm jumping head first. So an opportunity came up for me to get into a career that I've wanted to for so long.
Ooh.
I've looked into different schools, different programs to do this, and my excuse in the back of my head was, I work full time.
I can't.
I do so much. When do I have time to also do this? Now this opportunity arises, and it's something that would be full time for a few months, which means I can't work. And I literally was like, I'm gonna quit my job. I hope nobody from my job watches this.
Because they still don't know. They still don't know that this is happening.
So we're just gonna keep continuing, and y'all gonna act like you didn't hear that. But
HR, shh.
Honestly, at this point, it's like, as people, we work and we strive to do the best and do the most for ourselves. And when opportunities come up, no one should be mad at the fact that you're doing what you have to do for you to do better for you. So in that sense, if you're watching this, don't be mad, okay?
Be happy for this
support me. But
evolution.
I've just learned really in the process of it all that, like, this opportunity has come up. It's full time, all day, every day. Everyone that's been part of it speaks to how hard it is.
Yep.
And I'm just like, all right, cool. Let me know when I start.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Like, I've already talked to people close to me, supporters, and I'm just like, this is what I'm going to be doing for these few months. Hold me down, and I got you. And that's where I'm at mentally. And I was just like, wow, you've been looking into this for so long, and you did nothing. And then this opportunity comes up, and it's risking. You haven't done this because you work full time.
Yeah.
Because you need to work and pay bills.
Yeah.
And now I'm literally I'm just gonna give all of that up, regardless, to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, I'm all or nothing kind of person.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm for it. My mind is set on it. I'm not afraid. I'm ready, and I know I'm capable. And that's the thing about this whole process for me and all these changes is I always say I'm capable. I know how capable I am.
Even before.
Yeah. And right now I'm just like, well, now it's time to do the work and prove that.
Yeah.
You're always saying it, you think it, but show it. So this is my time to show it. Showtime.
Every time when you said Showtime, the first thing that popped into my head was Swiss Beats. It's showtime.
So yeah, change for me right now is risky, but high risk is high reward, and that's where I'm at. I'm not even scared.
You don't seem like it. Do you see fear in her eyes? Because I don't. And the way that you said it too, like, you know, you're like, I've been doing so much research, I've been doing all of this and different opportunities of what I can do have happened, and I've made an excuse, and not one excuse came out of your mouth when this opportunity came. That wasn't even a thought process of your, you know, of yours. Thank you. It was straight on, like, the sacrifice is already willing to be made. I already understand, and it's just like it clicked. It was like your intuition did not allow you to put doubt in there, put fear in there, or any of those negative feelings.
To keep it absolutely real right now, when I heard about the opportunity from you from the first time, you were talking and I completely blanked you out because I started Googling it. And you're talking, I'm just like looking at you and like, what is this?
Yeah.
So then I finally was like, you're talking to me about it. Let me ask you about it.
Oh my God.
So then I'm just like, hold up. I get you talking about somebody right now that did this, but can you
break it down?
Tell me more about this. And then finally you came back to me at the end of the day with like a screenshot of it from that friend that went through the program. Mm-hmm. And I signed up for it. So I signed up for it, and I'm out of this world excited. Like excited. I don't know if I left from here or where I left from, and I'm on the highway driving home, and I'm listening to music and stuff, and I just start crying. Bawling.
Really?
Which I'm not gonna do right now.
Why?
That's such a trigger word apparently. But just like, it clicked.
So you coming to terms with the idea that you were already have come to terms.
Yeah.
So your mind came with your soul and was just like, yes.
And like, I've been a person that has been contemplating the word purpose for so long, and how like everyone has a purpose. What is my purpose? I don't get it. Like, what am I supposed to do in this world? And then I watched the movie Jazz, and then I started just accept soul. Yeah, jazz. I think jazz because he's a jazz player.
Yeah.
Musician. So I saw Soul, and then I was just like, maybe I need to stop thinking so much about my purpose and live in the moment. So then I just started settling back. Like, at this point, I'm letting my life move, and I keep doing things because I have to pay bills. I have to do these things. And at this time, I really need to take my time and appreciate right now. And then like, in the right now that I'm appreciating, I'm also working towards what I really want to do, and not taking right now for granted. So I just started trying to do that. And then in the car I'm driving, and it literally came to my mind. I was like, oh shit, this shit feels like my purpose. And it's like, maybe I get that career, and I will get that career. I will get that opportunity, right? But I know I can do so much more because of it. And that's what my mindset was at. So I was bawling because I'm like, yo, this shit will set me up to do all the shit I know I can do and more. And the thing is, like, I'm only going to surprise myself. And it was not about anyone in that moment. I'm like, I'm literally going to surprise myself because I know I'm capable, but I'm literally going to prove to myself that I'm more than what I think I am. So that's me on change right now.
Have you been hearing all of the things that Daphny has been saying? Okay, can we just like step back? The way, again, fear is not in her head, fear is not in her arms, fear is nowhere near there, doubt is nowhere near there, and nowhere near there. And then the way that you said it, it was just like, you weren't saying if I get it, or I don't know if I'm gonna get it. It's with that affirmation of like, I am going to be there. I already envision myself there, so I'm going to make it happen. And so it was just like, it was music to my ears, literally, because again, I don't know why, but I'm very picky on how you say things. And like the way that you were saying everything that you were saying with such conviction and such strength, I'm just like, her speaking is already like, it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Well, thank you. You know, it's just beginning.
And that's the thing. She has not stepped into it yet, like in the actual. So it's just like, this is her before. So just wait until she's there and making it happen.
And I need to bring that energy into that room for the interviews for this thing, because I had my first interview and I didn't tell you this, but I was frustrated with myself after.
Why?
Because I can come off as arrogant. I like to do it for jokes, but honestly, part of my personality is knowing who I am and how I am and being like, this who the fuck I am, right? Yeah. The confidence in that. So when I was in that space and I was asked if people in your life could describe you, how would they describe you? Mm-hmm. And first I was like, well, if you ask different people, they'll give you different descriptions. So I was like, if you ask my parents, they think I'm quiet and closed off. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna talk about how my friends see me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, the people closest to me know I can be very nice. I'm very open, but even though I'm this person in that way, I'm also known as, but you don't mess with her.
You really don't, though.
You don't, and it's not because I present myself as I will fuck you up, but I present myself as we don't have time for that. And that's how I feel.
You don't have time for that.
Well, yeah. I say we because you just, like, for me, it's like,
we both don't need it.
Yeah, like, we don't need that. So I would say that, but then say things like, I think I know I'm great, but then like backtrack it a little and be like, oh, well, I think that, or I know I'm funny and I try to be funny, but then I go, oh, I said something like, I'm funny, I like to be funny, I like to make people laugh, or I like to think I make people laugh.
So you second guessed yourself at that moment.
And I did it a few times. And in the end, I was like, why did you do that? And I was thinking to myself, don't give off arrogant.
So because you were thinking, don't give off arrogant, you were stepping back.
Yeah, and then in the end, I was like, I wasn't even being arrogant. I was holding my ground because that's who I am as a person. And I was from what I presumed, was making the person laugh, being understandable. And I felt like if I held down what I was really saying, they would have like kept to it. Because then when I asked the person, like, how did you get into it? Their answer was very much how I would speak.
Okay.
Because their answer was just very like, I've done this, this, and that. Yeah. I did something so big. I was sitting there like, whoa. And I've done these things, and now I'm here because I want to see our people in these spaces. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this person would completely understand me if I held it down. And I hope, and I feel like they still got that.
Yeah.
I just know at the end of it, I was like, damn, you know your worth. And you didn't have to be like, I'm funny, but I like to think I'm funny. And I'm just like, no, I'm funny. Like,
no, but that's literally what you would do, though.
Right. So that happened. I'm not like too mad at myself. I still feel pretty good about it because I did ask a question on like, for the people that have gone through this like schooling and this whole process, what do you think held them down to the end and made them make it? And the answer was, they all know their why. They all know their reason why. And everyone that came in here knowing why they're here made it to the end. The people that were wishy-washy and were just here because of how good it sounds didn't make it. And I literally answered back and I was like, that actually makes me feel a lot better because I know exactly why I'm here. So I hope that nailed it in for me. So again, I'm just staying positive and I'm excited, so we'll see what happens. But Eeress, my hair hurts, so that was my excuse to be like,
because I saw some movement. I was like, wait a second, movement coming over here.
Change. This is change in hairdo. But what about you in this time frame? Because you've got a lot coming into fruition. Like, I feel like we got a tornado happening around us, and we're just sitting here like flying away. Like,
I think that change feels, for me, I think change feels inevitable, but in an inevitable way that like it was like, I feel like change is coming by and like looking at me and like, oh, so you ready now? Now we ready? So I feel like that is, if I had to personify change, that's how they would look like. But in this, I think that for me, change, not because I said that, it's very much like, I guess the thing that comes to mind is intuition. And intuition never, like, this is, I kid you not, I probably say this every other day, like, intuition will never lie to you. Your intuition does not have your bad intentions. Your intuition is not trying to make you look bad. Your intuition is not going to betray you. Your intuition is only going to help you thrive. And I think that change for me right now is me finally opening the door to intuition and saying, like, I know, but I'm ready now.
Okay. You're not late though.
Definitely. I think everybody has their own path and everybody has their own way of getting to where they need to be. And so I think for me, it's been a wonderful experience. And the crazy thing is that it's literally been like a couple of months when I finally like,
Seriously.
but again, it's been a couple of months because, like I've mentioned, my intuition has been circling around this, and my intuition has been circling around this all my life. It's just I'm now finally not letting limitations, fear, expectations, just all of the outside noise dictate how I move. And so it's been beautiful. I've enjoyed it. And I think that it change is scary, but at the same time, once you know, it's like that fear goes away, because it's just like, again, the way that you spoke on just the confidence again, and just the way that you were speaking, there was no like if, ands, or buts. It's, I know what I'm doing. And so I think for me, I am deciding to maneuver the way that I move and my career path, and it's been super exciting because, again, like, I know I've always wanted to do this. I'm just now saying it out loud.
Look what happens when it's said out loud.
Exactly. And it's crazy because I will say, so I hopefully will be going back to school. Cross your fingers for me, soul friends. And
she will be going back to school.
Yes. I will be going back to school. And then the friend that I did a reading today, he happened to connect me with somebody that is in that field and maneuvering in that same plane. So it was just like,
see how that works?
The universe continues to affirm the changes that I am now willing to accept and move towards.
It's like flourishing or blooming. Because I feel like, in the sense of me getting into this, I am not someone that approaches people. I'm not, like, I can be extroverted, but I'm really naturally introverted.
Really?
Yeah. Here, I think people see it here more.
Yeah.
But
That's
like
true.
when I'm out, people don't see it like that, because I'm really pushing myself to the limits when I'm out sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really like, I'm going to be open right now, and then sometimes settle into a corner where I'm just like, okay, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
But I've reached out to people for this, and for me, I just feel like it's like a blooming sense. I'm flourishing in a sense. Same thing for you. Like, we're pushing ourselves, and I think we are pushing ourselves and putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations.
See,
because we know what we want our outcome to be, and that we know we'll get that outcome pushing this way.
Yeah.
And it's just like flourishing, because the more we've been striving for what we want, the more things have been coming into play. And I like remember going to this first event where a lot of us that were in that same space were going for this. And I'm telling you, girl, I was in that room and I was flourishing. I was making everybody laugh. I was on a team. I was in that team, and I wasn't carrying the team, but I was still like confident in the space. People would come in and like ask questions and stuff, and I'd be like, my name is Daphne, and
Daphne,
you should know me.
Yes.
And That's not me naturally.
Yeah.
So I was in there. I mean, it can be if I'm with people I'm really close with.
Because you did it.
Yeah, but in that space, I was like, I'm gonna be that person. I'm gonna talk to people. I'm gonna have these conversations, and I did. And I just was in there like, because I want this. Like, I'm pushing for it. And as I'm doing this, like, I'm connecting with people. And I feel like with you, like, coming into this space, like, remember you said someone was like, oh, I know that person closely. I'll put in a word. And it's like, you see when you put it out there and you tell people, all of a sudden it's reciprocated in a way that, like, pushes you further ahead.
Yeah.
And that's really been big for us.
Yes, it has. And I will say, you speaking on that specifically, two people came up, two conversations are coming to mind. One conversation that I saw on Twitter, and someone says, I'm gonna tell you guys that I'm good, because if I'm not, like, what are you gonna do about it? And that was one conversation. And then there was another one that says, like, sharing or telling your story, or telling what's going on, not telling people what's going on and not telling people your story will limit you in so many different ways. So it's like that little balance of both of, not balance of both, but bringing those two together to just reiterate, like, sharing your story is necessary, and telling people what is going on is necessary, even if it might feel like you're venting, or you're nagging, or you're being narcissistic, or whatever the thought process comes to your mind when you're speaking and you feel like you shouldn't be speaking. It's like, your story needs to be said, that needs to be told, because you really have no idea who has the key that's gonna unlock what you need to be unlocked.
Absolutely. It's that key, yo.
But yeah, so it's been wonderful, just also getting those messages, because again, it's just saying, tell your story, even if it's a couple of times, but tell your story, because the right person is going to listen, and the person that needs to hear it will be listening.
It's that key, like you said. Like, that metaphor is exactly what's going on in my mind. And it's like, you have, like I said, for me, like, I've wanted to do this for so long, and finally putting myself out there. It's like, this whole time, but again, things happen at their time and at the right time. And even me with, like, moving, and, like, all of these things are coming into play, and it's kind of like all coming together in a sense.
You said moving.
Yeah.
So again, another change. And it's just like, you opening that door to change will just open it wider to what it's really needed.
Yeah, it's been I'll say great, because that's the only one I can think of. Like you said, like, you perceive that I'm not afraid, and that's exactly right. I don't feel afraid. And I like to say all the time, I don't fear people, I don't fear things. But I did learn that there are certain spaces that I am more reserved. But in this sense, I have been unafraid. I have been unafraid. For me, I know what I want at this point. And I haven't had that desire for much of anything for a long time.
How do you know it's what you want?
Because it's something that's been in the back of my mind for a very, very long time. I have always been a type of person that has been interested in different aspects of this field. And I remember when I graduated college, my father said, why didn't you go to school for that?
So he even saw that in you.
And I was like, you know what?
You're right.
I never thought of it in that way.
As a career.
I never thought I can bring this hobby into fruition in that way. And since then, it's something I've thought about and just never pushed towards. I just went with the job that pays me.
You were compensating security.
Because I settled a lot early on. I settled for a lot of things early on. For love, to help people. I think I went into such an aspect in my life that I was helping so much. And in that process, I lost myself because I was too focused on doing for others. And once I got myself out of a situation where I felt like this is a hard one to get out of, but I was like, well, I'm out. And doing that, knowing that nothing is going to keep me in a space that I don't want to be in. That I know going forward, I'm only going to be in spaces I want to be in. And that's why the risk doesn't scare me, because honestly, I have no room to get any lower. I really don't. So like, only up from here is legit how my life is right now. So might as well go. And that's it. It's like I have nothing to lose. I only have room to win. That's from Eeress's mom.
This was you guys actually remember. So soul friends, if you were listening on our last episode, Daphne was talking about the Mai Tai drinks that are the drink of the summer, and then she also talked about how they both got super drunk. And
I wasn't super drunk. Okay, I was in a good place.
My mother was super drunk and she was good. She was tipsy, and they were hugging and crying.
She made me cry because she hugged me, and there's no other way to react to that. Like, how do you not cry?
It was pretty intense.
Because I swear, if she did the same to you, you would have been crying. I don't care. You say that now.
Well, no. I will say, you need to understand that the situation that they were in, they were already in their feelings.
Yeah, from the jump.
So like, they were already in their feelings, and on top of that,
Virgos, we're both Virgos, and we carry this exterior with us all along. And you break that down with a little bit of alcohol. Again, we're all or nothing. So it's like, the walls are down, bet, jump. And that's what we did. No, she hugged me, and it was just like, well, here we are.
We're here now.
And yeah, because I told your mom, I was like, I have nothing left to lose. And she was like, no, you only have room to win. And I was just like, you right. That's it. I only have room to win. And I actually used that line when I had my first interview.
Look at that.
And they were like, and I was like,
everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
Everything happens for a reason.
Virgo sister held it down for me, and Eeress's mom. So all around, it was perfect energy.
For you to remind yourself that you really only have everything to gain.
That's it. And I say that's it as in, it's just wide open.
What do you mean? What is
me? I say that's it. Like it stops. It doesn't stop. It's just open. At this point, I'm only receiving, and I'm working for it though. Like I'm receiving, but I'm putting in the work.
I like this. I like this a lot.
Do you have any? Are you fearless right now?
I think that I am. Maybe the word is like content fearless. So like, you have fire in you in such a beautiful way.
My rising.
And I think that I don't need the fire. And so that's why it's like, I'm fearless, but I'm not fearless in the way that like I'm charging, but I'm more fearless, calculated. And so I think the word that was mentioned before was like cool. I think I'm at the cool.
I think you're grounded in it. I think you know it's coming together, and right now you're just like, well, we're going with the motions because we're there. And, and I have fire because I need it to be confirmed. And it's also going to be a tough few months, so that fire really need to burn.
Yeah.
It really does. You're going to have to keep that flame going.
That was a beautiful analogy. But I will say one thing that I always think about is I need to remind myself that I know that it might have taken a little long for me to get there, but mistakes that I made and the decisions that I decided to go on only just reaffirmed in different ways what I truly needed to do or need to do. And so like, do I bash myself sometimes? And it's just like, damn, you knew this all along, and like now's the time that you're deciding to do that. Sure. But it's more of like, no, like everything, all the pieces needed to unpiece themselves, piece themselves, crack, heal, mold, all that jazz for it to
mistakes had to be made.
Exactly.
Ooh, girl, I'm telling you.
What triggered? What is being triggered from
the mistakes I've made? That's it. It's mistakes.
That seems loaded, but we'll just keep it loaded there.
It's absolutely loaded. Let's just say my name is changing back real soon.
Oh.
I can't freaking wait.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
girl.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to ask you something, but I don't remember.
Okay. But I think that I will say that I like how there's different, like, we're both changing, but we're both changing in different ways. And it just speaks to, like, everybody is going to take their path in so many different ways. And so I think it's important that, like, you notice that I'm not comparing myself to you, nor are you comparing yourself to my journey, because it's like we're thriving in different levels, but we're thriving in our lane, the lane that, like, we fully understand belongs to us. And that's another thing that was happening with the change, where it's just like, I'm not trying to compare myself to anybody. I'm not trying to look at someone else's route and be like, oh my gosh, like, why didn't this happen to me? I'm just more of like, this is my turn.
What I just remembered what I was thinking of, but something that I thought about lately through this whole process was, this country really sets you up to feel like at the age of 18 you have to decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Listen
18, 17, going into college, because that's the plan for us, you know what I mean, is we're coming in with a decided major, or we can be undecided but eventually deciding what we want to do. And we need to know what we're paying thousands of dollars to set us up to work somewhere where we want to be. And we're doing this. I started college at 17.
Sheesh.
And I'm making this decision at that point.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what the fuck does an 18-year-old know about this freaking world? Because let me tell you, I thought I knew. Because this arrogance didn't start recently. I've been this way my whole life. I've known myself this whole life. My shyness was really bad when I was younger, but I've still known myself. I accepted the shyness and still know what I can do.
And your capability.
And even thinking back to me thinking I knew what I could do, I was hella stupid and young.
But you still had that, like,
naive and I'm like, why am I paying why are we making people pay thousands of dollars to go for a job and they have to know this when they're a teenager? And the capitalist society we live in, it works that way. And I've just thought to myself, this is why our timing is our timing, in a sense, because we are pushed into these positions that we're like supposed to maneuver in a way and know what we're doing by the end of it. And so many of us, and I think statistically it's very much proven that this system is bullshit, because so many of us leave with a degree and don't even work in it at all. Nor do we maybe even have the passion for it anymore. Or we go into it because at this point, this is what I had set myself up for.
Yeah.
And we get to a point that, like, where we're at now, that's like, well, I'm finally understanding what I want to do and who I am. And I'm not even mad at it. I'm not mad that I'm here now. I'm just like, damn, that's a lot of pressure to put on our younger selves, to be like, you need to know this, and this is why we go to college and we act up and we do whatever we want. And honestly, I can tell you about my whole college experience. It was this: hanging out with my friends, and that's what I take from there. That's what I've taken with me, and I've taken those friends, those experiences, and that's what I have from that. And do I regret any of that? No, because I have amazing people in my life and so many amazing experiences, and also amazing debt. So
that doesn't sound amazing.
No, but it's a large amount, so it is amazing if you want to talk about how grandiose it is. But for me, it's just not being mad about that, but just thinking back and be like, damn, we really make young people really decide these big things. And I'm just grateful I didn't make any major mistakes at that age that will follow me for the rest of my life. And that I'm at this point in my life where I can say, fuck everything else I'm doing, I'm stopping it all because I'm doing this. And I'm grateful that I can do that.
Yeah.
And I guess that's intentional in what is planned for me, for what I've been supposed to do. So, that's
I will say, as you were saying that, and you kept saying, like, you know, we are so young to be putting such a decision on a young person. It made me think of my journey, and just I remember the first time that I was the first time that we were in college. I remember it like if it was yesterday. That's how much, like, I look back and I'm just like, wow, that decision really changed my whole life, and I'm back to where I need to be. But like, I remember sitting in the college cafeteria, and there were college advisors, and they were all coming around and giving you the piece of papers for you to decide what you wanted to study. And I remember crossing off psychology, I remember crossing off elementary education, and I remember crossing off something else. And then I go to, the advisor needs to like basically clear you off to like be able to do and take the classes for those paths. And I remember the college advisor was just like, this really doesn't sound like a good plan for you. And he was very, very much just like psychology is not going to bring you money. Psychology is not going to do good for you. The people that are in that field are very, like, they struggle. So like they literally were just like, here are all the bad things that are going to happen if you decide to make this decision. And that decision, me having that conversation with that college advisor, made me end up switching, and I like did a whole different thing. And I remember, but it also speaks to the youngness, because I remember in college, or even younger, I was still not in any way as mature as I am today, where I'm able to make very wise decisions without needing for others validations or others' expectations or any of that jazz. And so during that time, like, I was a sponge that if you tell me something, it is what it is. And it was very much black and white, a type of mindset. And so I feel like knowing that, like, the decision that I should have made then, I'm making it now, but it's because, like, I'm a whole different person today. I'm a whole different person than I was when I was that young person or that young child that decided, oh, okay, you know more than me because you are a college advisor, so I will make the decision of my life based on this conversation. But again, I'm no longer in that space. I no longer have those voices that are just like, my own voice is strong enough.
Isn't it beautiful to get to that point where you just like, y'all can let me know what you think, but at the end of the day, it's my decision and mine. And it's like, great, I feel you, I understand you, but this is for me, so like, I'll take you into consideration. But yes, I went into college knowing what I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. I wanted to work in forensics. I think I could be good at it, because I'm very observant and all that great stuff.
She really is.
But with my GPA, I had to start at a certain point to make my way to do it for my master's. Mm-hmm. So I went in as a chemistry major. And they had no issues accepting me as a chemistry major, because ain't nobody else going into school as a chemistry major. Everybody else was going for everything else at that school, so they were just like, bet, we got one.
Yeah.
And I went into it just not prepared. And I went into it with professors that just, the mentality was, you should already know this. Mm. And I went in like, I'm here to learn this.
Yeah.
And it just didn't go well. It just didn't. One semester I had chemistry, biochemistry, psychology, and calculus. And then biochemistry had a lab and another class that went with it, and chemistry had a lab. So it was like I had 4 classes, but really I was like I had 7. And let me tell you,
it doesn't sound cute.
My grades at the end of it altogether was not beautiful. I cried my eyes out. And after that, I just was like, I'm out. I'm switching to something else. I'm just writing this out so I can get the degree I have to get, and then we'll figure it out. So let's just say these decisions we have to make young are unfortunate to have to make them young, but I guess we have to start somewhere. Exactly. I guess that's how we sign up for our mistakes.
I like that.
But I'm grateful for the experiences I had, and now we're here, and I really feel like we're in such a monumental phase in our life, in a sense, that it's just hard to explain. And like you said, we are on different paths. Like we're going into our own directions, and we're just kind of supporting ourselves through it, but it's like ours. Like, I'm not here telling you what to do. You're not here telling me what to do.
Not at all.
We're just like, girl, keep going. You got this. We got this. So, and we got this.
We do. And some of the things that I'd love to just chat about is for people that are thinking about change, that are not so open to change, and all the in-betweens. What's some advice? Advice. or encouraging words of affirmation.
Advice, and people that are going through change,
that have change at the front door and don't know if they want to let them in or not.
You have no space. You only have space to win, like your mom said. And at this, it gets to a point that you're gonna get there. So maybe you're not ready right now, but just know that it might feel like, for those who feel like that door will be there forever, it might not always. So if it's appeared in front of you and you've got the key, just go for it. Don't be afraid and follow your heart. And at the same time, I think it's a lot of growth that goes into it. So I guess for me, overall, the biggest thing is don't be so hard on yourself when you get to the point that you meet that door and say, why did it take me so long? Why am I just getting here? Be grateful that you're there and then go for it. I think we dwell so hard on how much we've gone through and what we've done and the mistakes we've made and how come I'm here, and it's like, but you can get out of it. And when your mind and your heart is like, I'm done with this shit, be done with it and move on. And if you don't got any support in your corner, support yourself until you get there. And you might even have support and you don't know because you don't tell people your story. You do. I
would say I second the support thing. Like, it's not that you don't have support, you just may not be looking.
And you'll find support in the weirdest places, I'm telling you. But overall, just don't dwell on the things you've done when you've made it to the point where you can do better. And that's it.
I love that. I really, really love that. I love it because it's reminding us that, like, we really are our own worst critic. Like, we really are the ones that are bashing ourselves more than who you might think hates you.
Fuck the haters.
I guess I was thinking that more because that's what usually gets said.
And that's how I respond.
But yes, like, it's just, we're human beings. We are human beings. We will make mistakes. We're bound to make mistakes. It's gonna happen. It's just about making sure that, okay, I made that mistake, but another door is opening. And I made that mistake because that will allow this door to open. And so I completely agree with you. And I will also add that, again, your intuition does not lie to you. Your intuition will not lie to you and will not make you look bad. So I think that both Daphne and I mentioned that the decision that we have been making to this new change that is occurring was always in the back of our head. And so it only speaks to, you already have the answers in your fingertips. It's about you getting there fully and reaffirming that decision is the right one, and you listening to your intuition will really help with that.
And we're still growing and moving and still going to make mistakes, but we are at the point that we know better. or we're learning that we can do better. We're learning that we can do better.
Yes.
I think that knowing better, like I said, I knew myself my whole life and I thought I knew. And I'm at this point and I'm like, yo, my parents were right about a lot of things. And it's just like, even if you never underestimate your parents, like you never underestimated your parents, you never said, oh, they're bugging, but you were just living and dealing. I was that person. Like, maybe sometimes I said they were bugging, but other times I was just like, all right, cool. But then when you get to this point, you're like, yo, you were so right about things that I didn't even think were things I had to consider were right or wrong. Mm-hmm. You were just so like, yo, I'm living in this trash ass world and you've been saying this whole time. You said there's food at home and I know why now. You know, no McDonald's today and I understand.
Wow.
And a lot of this is growth. It's just growth. We're growing. And I know, like, I mentioned to a friend today something about my dad saying, you know, if he ever gets married, which he probably never will, he needs to live in separate homes. They need to live in separate homes. And you know, the older I've gotten, the more sense that's made. That's something I've learned today, that, you know what, I feel you. Because sometimes you just need your space. And I think there's something beautiful in marriages and people being together and staying together. But knowing that he knows this is how I am as a person, I'm not lonely when I'm by myself. And when that person is in my life, I just already know one of the things I would like is that space. Yeah. And just knowing yourself enough to be like, I don't have to fall for the traditional because the traditional just won't work. And me being like, you know what? That makes so much sense. And now I know.
I understand.
Why I get it. And it's never something I second guessed or thought about. And now I'm here like, oh, you're right. So change is coming. It's always coming.
It always is. And that's the thing. Like, the only constant thing is change. So, like, we were born to evolve. We're born to continue to grow. We're born to, like, be our best self. And with that being said, I will say that stepping into you, I think that number one thing that keeps playing in my head is to come to terms with what type of change is needed in your life, or what type of change are you going through right now, or what type of change have you gone through. And so the word change, but more specifically, what type of change do you know that you need to approach but are afraid to? I'd love to hear your thoughts. We shared a little bit about our change. I'd love for our soul friends to share a little bit about what does change mean for them, but also what continues to play in the back of your head. Because I think that's one, again, something that we both mentioned that allowed us to shift our change and our minds and our lives. What is that little thing all the way in the back that is telling you, I'm here and I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here and I'll be here until you decide that you're ready for me, because I will be here.
And in the process of you deciding, I'm gonna smack you up beside your head all the time
to remind you
in different directions until you sit there and you're like, you're right, I'm listening, I got you. Because man, let me tell you, the last few months too, I feel like the universe has been like, oh, you ain't listening yet. But yes.
And I will say, this feels very full circle, because one of the first blog posts that I did, Soul Friends, if you go on our website, we have blog posts. Daphne has a beautiful brunch, and brunch is on its way, so check out her brunch video, and she gives you cleaning the closets and all that fun stuff. And then I did a small blog post / recording of asking you the question, what should you really be doing? And it just hits perfectly for this episode where we know that change is inevitable, so what should you really be doing? And so I would encourage y'all to go to our website, soulfulshepod.com, and check out the blog post. It's written, and then I also recorded it for the people that don't like to read things that are more than 168 characters long.
Even then, I'd be like, all right, that's too long.
There is a recording of it, and it asks you a couple of questions. And if you wouldn't mind answering some of those questions. And if you don't know about the questions, it's going to pertain to just, what is your intuition telling you? What is your intuition speaking to you? What is it that they want you to do? And what are some of the changes that need to happen for this beautifulness to come into fruition. That's all I got.
And from the lovely stepping into you and going fashion forward, check out my blog post. It's about fashion.
The way you're saying it.
Honestly, I forgot that segment existed through this whole process. So that's why I'm saying that. And I think I want to give fashion forward to you, since you're wearing a brand you've mentioned a few times, and it's actually in our faces today.
Yeah. So, soul friends, if you've been here for the ride for the 21 episodes, during one of our episodes, I bring up my very talented cousin who lives in Dominican Republic and is a fashion designer, and she unfortunately had only extra large. But backtrack really quickly, my little brother ended up going to Dominican Republic, and in him going to Dominican Republic, I was like, bet, I'm finally gonna be able to bring back something from my cousin. And so he went, and I think the day that he was going to visit her area, it was the day of that he texted me. So I had to text her that day, and I'm just like, I really hope you have something available, because my brother's only gonna be here for one day, and he's only gonna be here until 4. So let's figure this out. But she ended up giving me. I purchased 2 shirts. They are so large that they fit like a dress, but we're gonna make it work. And so the brand is called La Paix, which happens to be my last name, which is even more beautiful. But this is one of the shirts that I got from Dominican Republic, and it says 100% joseo, and then 0% suelte, which means
opposite, but yes.
Yeah, it basically means 100% grind in a way, if it's simply translated, and then 0% luck. And so it also speaks to what's going on right now. I just clicked, I'm sorry.
Really? I've been thinking it this whole time.
No.
I've been reading it like she's about to tell us why she's wearing this today.
No, but do you see how the universe works? But yeah, it's 100% grind, 0% luck, which speaks it's very timely for the episode today. Wow. What? Okay. But yeah, that's it.
And then before we go into what's resonating with us and resonating with she, can I talk about these earrings though?
Talk to him.
Because
Talk to him.
they came right out the case, and I was like, hold up. Can I buy these now?
She really did, though.
Because I will right now. Is this something you need to, do you need these for something? Because in that exact voice that you hear right now was what happened. I don't know why it does this, but yes. But as always, wearing these by Troken.
And these are fly, I know that that he speaks truth when he says one of one, but these feel like one of one of one of one type of beautiful gear. jewelry.
And we talked about before how we went to an event and like every other person was wearing jewelry.
No. Tell the story to our soul friends.
So we go to our friends' lovely events, and I'm saying hi to people, and I'm wearing my beads by Chokin one of one. You know what I mean? So I'm looking cute. I'm wearing it. Like, this outfit was worked around because of my earrings, right? My hangers, right? So I'm walking around, and I'm like, I see you. Oh, I see you. Eeress had hers on. I'm like, oh, so we all. And then the man himself comes into the room, and I said, but do you see the people? Do you see what the people are wearing?
Do you see the community of beautifulness that you created?
That's it. That's you. That's you.
And the thing is that it was a bridal shower, so like, you know, I feel like you're not just gonna wear anything to a bridal shower, you know?
And I'm not gonna just wear anything anyway.
So the fact that every single person in that, not everybody, for a good portion of
a good percentage.
If we did
the
people,
math,
yes, a good percentage of the people that decided to come into that space decided to wear beads by Troken. So like that already speaks volume to like I could have worn anything and this is what I chose to wear.
Because it was right.
Drop the mic.
So as always, wearing beads by Troken. And that's it for Fashion Forward. What is resonating with she?
What is resonating with she? What's resonating with she is that life, I'm looking at a mug, and it's a Charlie dog. What's the dog's name? Is
Snoopy?
Snoopy, thank you. I didn't grow up with them, sorry guys. Snoopy was sleeping, and it just reminds me that like you might not feel that the energy is there at the moment. You might feel that, why am I sleeping? You might feel that, you know, why am I not where I need to be? Be patient with yourself and understand that everything happens for a reason, but also like be present in that time. So if you're tired, allow yourself to be tired. If you don't have the energy, allow yourself not to have the energy, because it will come when it needs to come.
Shout out to Snoopy. And you, because you said the words. I'm just saying, the inspiration. The words behind the inspiration.
That came out. The correlation.
When you started speaking, I was looking at the mug like,
where is she going with this?
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
That was all for you. I'm just trying to make it through this week until I can go away on a trip.
Ayy.
That's what's resonating. And also, just living through this Mercury retrograde, because people have just been showing up. People that I have put to the side have been knocking on my door, and I'm like, actually, I'm at this door and I'm walking through, so and that's what it's been. It's just been a lot of people from my past, like, I just want you to know I still exist. And it's like, well, I never forgot you existed. I just want you to know you're not where I'm at. And there's a reason for that.
Oof, drop mics. Not just one, like 20 of them at the same time.
And that's the mindset I have to keep through this whole process. I'm not going to be distracted by my past, because that was my past for a reason. And like I said, we don't dwell on it.
It was a past for a reason!
You really wanted to say that. What was the reason? What was the reason? The reason was for me to learn from my mistakes and move on from my past and do better. So that's what we are doing. And on that note, I'm Daphne Emily.
And I'm Eeress Iris.
And we are Soulful She.
And per usual, and always know and always understand that he can listen, they can listen, but she. I'm sorry, that was bad. We're gonna go back again. So, like I usually end, he can listen, they can listen, but she is speaking.
And we might be one more drop in the ocean, but we just might be that last sip to quench your thirst.
Thank you, soul friends!